I mean, it's very hard for them to criticise Labour for spending too much and investing when they are also looking to kind of spend more. And, I think it's really interesting. And I think actually it's a really good thing that there is now a political consensus that we need to invest more. I think it's good for public services that have been starved of cash and are on their knees. I think it's good for communities that have been at the sharp end of cuts. And what's really interesting is the dividing line on the economy now is no longer spending. It's which side can provide the answers to the big economic problems we face, the fact that the economy isn't working for the majority of people. And what I thought was really interesting watching John McDonnell's speech and Sajid Javid's speech yesterday is, whether you agreed with John McDonnell or not, whether you agree with Labour or not, they have a radical reform agenda that's looking to fundamentally change things in the economy. And that was really absent from the Conservatives yesterday. And I don't think that they can go into this election and convince people who have been at the sharp end of the fact that the economy is not working for them, that the same old prescriptions, the same old medicine that we know doesn't work, you'll got growth, but it won't benefit people, that they can just do that. They've got to do something more than that. And I think that's going to be the test for them in this election.
But Miatta, does Labour know how quite to deal with this new Boris Johnson Tory party? I mean, they're not saying you're the same lot, are they? I haven't heard that at all.
No, they're not. But I mean, I think there's a real challenge for the Conservatives, which is in order to pick off the votes that they need to from essentially Labour leave areas, they're going to have to seem to be pushing a kind of progressive, pro-investment, trying to kind of invest in communities position, which is counter to what essentially a Conservative-led government has done for a decade through its austerity policy. So it is going to be very hard for them to defend the record as well as trying to say, we have the answers, we can make it all better. But I think the bigger picture for me in this week is, the election for the Conservatives absolutely needs to be about Brexit because Labour is in a more nuanced position and a weaker position because of that. And they have a very clear line on that. Labour want this election to be about anything but Brexit. And in the first week, it's been about everything but Brexit. So, in terms of the way that the campaign's going, I think the first week favours Labour because we're talking about the NHS. We've been talking about the economy. We've been talking about other issues, climate change. And that all plays to Labour that will argue we have a radical prospectus for change. And it doesn't play to the Conservative election campaign. So the first weekend, they'll be worried.